Have you ever been spoken with a married woman and felt as though something wasn't quite right? Nothing overt or wrong, but something about the way she leaned in while you spoke and the way she looked at you. You should be able to tell yourself it's nothing because of the inquiries she asked, the ones that lingered just a bit longer than casual. She is merely being amiable, but something wasn't quite right in her heart. Let me be honest with you. Few guys actually understand, and the majority don't even discuss it. Women who are married can experience attraction. They can be attention hungry. They may have an emotional detachment from their spouses. And then all of a sudden you appear. Not because you tried, not because you flirted, not because you intended to go too far, but because you unknowingly gave her the presence, strength, depth, and calm masculine force she had been lacking in her life. She may never say it aloud, but she will demonstrate it for you. But not in the ways you might think. It's not about overt seduction or romantic language. Rather, it's about subtle, almost imperceptible cues, like the way she watches you when you talk to other women, the way her energy changes when you're alone, or the things she does when she senses you're not paying attention. Males tend to overlook these indicators. Some are caught off guard by them, while a select few, the rare emotionally savvy few, are aware of them early on and react stoically rather than impulsively. This is the harsh reality. A married woman is not always bad, unfaithful, or even disloyal if she exhibits these 4 distinct symptoms. It indicates that she is a human and that something inside of her began to awaken in your presence. However, you must understand the difference between a subtle, smoldering attraction and an innocent connection before acting on your feelings or drawing hasty judgments. The former will go away, while the latter will drag you into emotional pitfalls. You might never get away. So listen carefully, friend, because the clues I'm going to share aren't minor. They are behavioral, psychological, and innate. Let's get started. Not all attractions are noisy. Does not shout all the time. It lacks the dazzling lights, overt language, and romantic gestures you see in movies. Attraction can occasionally take the form of a whisper, a look, a pause, or an apparently innocuous moment that conceals the weight of something more profound, unsaid or prohibited. And everything changes when a married lady is the source of that attraction. Before we continue, let me clarify that this is not a judgment. This has nothing to do with morality or criticizing the decisions of others. This has to do with consciousness. Because whether you realized it or not, if you're a man who exudes masculine presence, lives with quiet confidence, listens intently, and communicates clearly, you've probably experienced this yourself. A married woman you were with lingers. You told yourself, no, that can't be. After she gave you a bit too much attention, laughed a little too loudly, and found ways to talk to you when she didn't really have a cause. Has a spouse. Your instinct told me otherwise, and your gut is almost always correct, yet it's all in my head. Actually, a lot of married women are still looking for a feeling that makes them feel like they're being seen, heard, and wanted again, not necessarily for a new partner. This is especially true for those in emotionally or psychologically distant relationships. They don't always seek to deceive. Actually, the majority aren't. However, they are reacting to a masculine energy that feels alive and possibly even a little dangerous since it makes them think of something they never had or lost in the first place. Therefore, you don't need to flirt when you enter the room as the composed, stoic, emotionally educated, calm, and present man. You don't have much to say. Her neurological system's temperature shifts only by your presence. Additionally, even though she might not act on it, she may be saying things she will never acknowledge through her body language, facial expressions, words, and small actions. That is the subject of this video. Not sensuality, not fancy, not seduction, but consciousness. Because enticing women isn't the only aspect of being a high-value man. It all comes down to interpreting circumstances wisely and recognizing when something is no longer innocent. This message is for you if you've ever had that unseen tension with a married lady, if you've ever questioned yourself, or if you've ever thought, did she just flirt with me? But weren't sure how to interpret it. The 4 subtle clues that a married lady might be secretly drawn to you are being revealed today. Most men ignore these indicators, while high-value guys pick them up right away. You will also know what to do about it after seeing this video, not just what to look for. Let's get started. She unknowingly mirrors you, which is sign number 1. Unconscious mirroring is one of the most underappreciated yet informative indicators of concealed desire. Let me clarify. You're in a relaxed environment, such as a cafe or a get-together, and you begin to observe that she quietly adopts your position whenever you do. You keep your arms crossed. She does too a few moments later. You slightly lean in. She imitates that motion. This is not an accident. It isn't imitation. It is an innate behavioral reaction that has its roots in our psychology. The chameleon effect is what psychologists refer to it as. When we're unconsciously attempting to establish rapport or feel closer to someone, it's what we naturally do. This is where things start to get intriguing, though. Emotionally committed married women usually don't act in this way with other guys unless there is an unrecognized spark or internal conflict. When a married lady begins to mimic your tone, energy, body language, or even your word choice, they are attempting to repress or comprehend. Has nothing to do with manipulation. It's a confession made in silence. Because she wants to feel closer, her subconscious is repeating your presence and reaching out. Despite her awareness that she shouldn't, a high-value man avoids making snap judgments. He does not ignore the problem. Rather, he observes it, considers it, and shows respect for it. Mirroring is the first step towards emotional entanglement, and power comes from knowledge. The second sign is that she gives you intimate, personal information. When a married woman starts to open up to you in a way that feels deeper than it should, this is when the boundaries become hazy. It goes beyond simple trust. Emotional vulnerability is that, and it is rarely arbitrary. She begins to share with you her early aspirations, hardships, anxieties, and possibly even details about her marriage. Grievances that are passed off as jokes or frustrations that are covered up as casual remarks. She confides in you rather than merely talking to you. Why? Since emotional troubles frequently start before physical ones. Particularly if she says things like, "I can talk to you about things I can't even tell my husband," or if she begins to turn to you for emotional support or approval. That isn't impartial. Whether she is aware of it or not, that is a boundary being challenged. Her emotional loyalty is changing. What you should know is as follows. You are not required to bear the emotional weight since you are a man with a foundation in stoic discipline. She refuses to include in her own relationship. You are able to hear. Although you should show respect, you shouldn't confuse friendship with emotional intimacy. She is experiencing more than casual fondness if she is gradually going over that line. Though they are smart enough to recognize the significance of that moment, high-value guys do not take advantage of it. Her body language is inconsistent yet deliberate, which is sign number 3. When a married lady finds herself drawn to someone she shouldn't be, this might be problematic. Before her words ever do, her body speaks for her. One day you'll notice contradiction. The following day, she can appear aloof, icy, almost frigid, as if she were protecting herself. Warm, she brushes your arm, smiles too long, and unintentionally laughs a little too loudly at your joke. This isn't a misunderstanding. This is internal strife manifesting as physical manifestations. She is attempting to uphold and simultaneously test boundaries. Keep an eye out for these small gestures. Too much eye contact, followed by an abrupt break as though she realized she had gone too far. She fidgets nervously when you make small changes to her posture or attire. She looks at you when you're close, then hastily looks away when she thinks you're not looking. Unpredictable body language is frequently the result of tension desire, not because she is unsure of you but rather because she is unsure of herself. You can tell more about her the more she fidgets and overcorrects. What's happening beneath the surface is unsaid. A stoic individual observes without taking action. He is emotionally stable, perceptive, and unyielding. He manages what weaker guys would pursue and sees what most folks overlook. She tries your emotional capacity without acknowledging it, which is sign number 4. This is arguably the most subdued yet most telling indication of a married woman's covert attraction to you. She refuses to publicly acknowledge it. She might not even be honest with herself about it. She will, however, pique your curiosity by presenting you with tiny hooks and requests to reveal your cards. You must be a heartbreaker, aren't you? she would ask. Girls will constantly throw themselves at you, I bet. I wish my husband was aware of such things. Now pay close attention. These remarks are not arbitrary. They are inquiries. These are gentle, debatable tests to gauge your reaction. She will know it's okay to open the door further if you return the flirtation. She will probably withdraw if you maintain emotional stability and don't give back, not because she feels ashamed but rather because she respects the barrier you quietly set. Why does she act in this way? Because oxygen is necessary for attraction. And she feeds that spark without starting a fire with these little remarks, whether they are fun, sarcastic, complimenting, or taunting. Your inner masculine control is more important than ever in this situation. Because your response will determine how the relationship develops, whether you reply or remain calm. Keep in mind that you don't have to go after what you already draw. That's stoic strength. Now that the layers have been removed, let's be frank. Not all smiles are merely courteous. Not every relationship is benign. And not every compliment is innocuous. The lines can occasionally get hazy. Married women can experience an unanticipated attraction to another man. And you are that man occasionally. It was not pursued by you. It wasn't provoked by you. But there it is, seeping through every unintentional touch or lingering glance. Hidden in the way she speaks, and gazing at you the way she looks. What do you do then? You see through the noise, you observe, and you notice. Because there is a clear distinction between a guy of stoic strength and a man of low value. Like a child in the desert who is thirsty, the weak man responds to attention. The high-value man understands the importance of self-control. He knows that he doesn't have to accept someone's attraction to him just because they show interest in him. He doesn't mistake alignment for attraction or affection for attention. He doesn't confuse value with validation. The four most subtly potent indicators of a married woman's unconscious attraction have finally been revealed to you. Emotional closeness that goes beyond friendship. More can be revealed via body language than through words. Little flirtatious barbs are used to gauge your emotional availability. Deciphering attraction is only one aspect of recognizing the indicators. It all comes down to knowing yourself. Will you become enmeshed in her emotional turmoil? Or will you remain tall and unflinching as a man who understands that real power comes from deciding which opportunities are beneath you rather than seizing everyone? Because the capacity to abandon what most men would want is the best indication of a man's strength. I would like you to leave a remark if you have ever experienced this kind of circumstance. If you have ever felt that subtle tension between a woman who wasn't really available and yourself. Not embarrassed, not reacted to, not arrogant, just aware. For that is the way of stoic observation, devoid of drama, coldness, depth, judgment, and control. It's time to delve further if this video helped you gain clarity and recognize your worth, authority, and boundaries. We do more than simply dating here, so click the bell symbol and subscribe to Stoic Paradox immediately. It's about building unwavering manly strength in a world that constantly tries to shake you. And stay tuned because every video, lesson, and truth we share here will help you become the man you were destined to be if you're prepared to master the inner game. Not just with women, but in life as well. Attraction is perfectly okay. While it's not bad, disrespecting the fire you're playing with can be deadly. Throughout your life, temptation will appear in the form of a lovely smile and a wedding band. Your legacy, however, is defined at that precise instant. Will you be the man she never forgot because you were the one who didn't fall? Or will you just be another guy who fell for the rush? Don't be that man for her. For the code, not even for your pride. It is the stoic contradiction that you live by. Because being desired by numerous women isn't a sign of true power. Can be discovered in how few people can affect you. And the truly powerful man's conundrum is that. Stay stoic, focused, and grounded until the next time. Paradox of Stoicism.